I've been intentionally quiet on this, but I think it's time I said my piece. Over the past week, I've had countless people messaging me about the Victor Radley situation and what I think of it as a Roosters fan, and I've taken a couple of days to think about it. There's two parts to it. Firstly, if you remove the context of Nick Politis' zero tolerance policy comments in January, I'm very happy with the way that the club have handled it. And I'm proud of the Roosters for coming down on Radley harder than the NRL did with Ezra Mam, and much harder than the Rabbitohs did with Latrell Mitchell. In the absence of what Nick Politis said, I think the Roosters would be being praised right now rather than criticised. So what that tells me is that my problem doesn't have anything to do with the punishment, it has to do with Nick Politis' comment. Back then he said, in no uncertain terms, and I quote, "If somebody's caught doing cocaine or leaning over snorting something, we're going to get rid of them." Now in fairness, Radley hasn't been formally charged with doing that, but it does seem to me that is privately admitted wrongdoing to the club. Where this doesn't sit right with me is that I strongly believe that if this weren't Victor Radley and were instead Makahesi Makatoa or Junior Tupou, they'd be gone. And I think that's true for any club, not just the Roosters. That's a big injustice, and that culture becomes normalized when you got someone like Brent Reed going on NRL 360 and saying that he supports the Roosters' decision because Victor Radley is, quote, a junior there and he's embedded there. It is a little wild to me to say that where a player is from should determine the standards they're held to. To me, it's much more simple than that. Yes, the Roosters look weak right now and Nick Politis' reputation has taken a hit. But I think that's less of a negative for the club than letting a player of Victor Radley's quality walk and play for another team while subsidizing his salary. It was a lose-lose situation for the Roosters and they took the smaller L. At the end of the day, I can't blame a football club for making the best footballing decision.